challenge over the years has been a Ghanaian language.
Even though last year 2 of our students had one, grade 1 in Ghanaian language, but it's difficult. At times you go to class and the students themselves, when it's time for Ghanaian language, they don't feel comfortable because they don't even understand the language.
For some of the students, there's that fear, but they'll not allow that to take the best part of their preparations.
Trying to get more rest to relax my brain and going through past questions to be adequately prepared.
Yeah, trying our possible best to ensure that whatever our teacher has taught us, we'll be able to put up our best on the paper to make them proud.
Wake up from 1 to 4, I study. Then from 4 to 5, take my bath, get ready for school, then I set off at 6.
There are those who on their own studying to catch up, and food is never a priority until a lot is learned. Paula Nate stays up to learn to as late as 11 p.m. With a sharp contrast prevailing in both government and private schools, the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, finds that disturbing.
All of them are going to write the same exam. And so, the person whose son is on the island, when they are going to write the exam, they know that they have failed. They know that they have failed. And sometimes you go to, the media will go to some schools. They ask, what is your name? Who's he saying? Okay, I mean, Ebenuka. Fuembua. Because the child doesn't understand. And we use these things to make fun of the public schools. But we need to realize the consequences of that part of those issues, that they are issues that we need to take into consideration.
General Secretary of the Association, Thomas Tanko Musa, implored parents not to put too much pressure on their wards.
Stop putting pressure on the children to be like you. Let the children be a better version of themselves. Your children can never be like you. So please kindly give them a space. Let them work according to their strengths and their abilities. Encourage them, admonish them, and support them. That is all that you can do.
A professor of psychology and director of the Pan-African Doctoral Academy at the University of Ghana, Dr. Collins Beduajiman, explains that it is normal for the candidates to be experiencing fear.
It is very normal. But what is important is they shouldn't feel overwhelmed. When you feel that small sense of anxiety and fear, it sharpens their focus. It helps them to buy time to be able to concentrate on what matters most.
He cautioned teachers against overloading students with too much knowledge.
Between 6 to about 8 hours of sleep, they need to get it. But sadly, many institutions are camping students Saturday evenings. Some are even adding Zoom and Teams and Google Meet and all that. You realize the memory will not rest to be able to consolidate all the learnings. Then there could be information overload. If you don't take care, that can also confuse these young brains.
Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Dr. Agnes Namomolate, advised candidates to advance their concentration levels.
I want to wish them well, and I say to them that if there are friends or any socialization you have to do, it should be the one that is going to compare notes or share ideas on your exams. And aside that, any other thing can wait.
The Ghana Education Service, GES, has warned against examination malpractice. Educational experts are, however, pushing for equity in the disbursement of resources aimed at enhancing the performance levels of deprived busy schools. George Quenin, TV3 News, Accra.
Well, as the exam begins on Monday, candidates in Robweja, a community in the Techiman North District, they are revising by torchlight. The community has no electricity, forcing students to study in darkness every night. Beyond eye strain and exhaustion, the crisis highlights the growing divide between rural and urban learners.
In less than 48 hours, a little over 600,000 students are expected to take the basic education certificate examination across Ghana. Here in the Bono East region, a little over 20,000 students are expected to sit for the same examination. Now, Where I am is Drobweja. Drobweja is one of the virgin communities in the Bono East region, specifically the Techiman North District. Here, they are not connected to the national grid. And so I'm here to find out how students here are coping in preparations ahead of the basic education certificate examination that is expected to take place on Monday. Mind you, students here are equally going to take the same exams with those who have light 24/7. Here with me is Abigail Table. How are you, Abigail?
I'm fine.
Right. What are you learning?
RME.
How is your preparation so far?
We are not finding it easy. We use look at these touchlights. It's the same one that my mother used it to cook. So when I start learning, my mother will say that she wants this light to go and cook, so that I have to give it to her to cook.
So it means the torchlight, you don't even get it to yourself all the time to learn.
Yes.
So going into the exams on Monday, are you scared?
Yes.
Why are you scared? Are you not prepared enough?
Yes, we do, because we don't have lights to prepare more.
Eunice is also preparing for the exams on Monday. How are you?
Fine.
I am told you're writing ICT on Wednesday. How is your preparation so far?
That one too is not easy, because I haven't seen a computer before. Only in the textbook.
Do you know what a mouse is? You've not seen a mouse before.
No.
So if exams ask you what a mouse is, how are you going to answer?
I won't answer.
Interesting. Eunice is scared, especially with ICT, because they'll be writing ICT on Wednesday and they have been only learning the theoretical aspects of ICT. She has never seen a computer before. She has never touched a computer before. She doesn't even know what a mouse is. This is the reality of students of Drobweja. Even though school authorities has expressed some level of confidence in the student, they're still harboring some doubt, especially with ICT.
Well, we have done our best because we have taken them through all the necessary topics and we have covered the syllabus and we think they are prepared. But looking at their condition here, we are scared about how they are going to write these exams.
Actually, I'm scared for them because this subject is purely practical. Yeah. So once it is practical and they are not doing the practical, they are going to have a problem with it. Most of the communities where they are not connected to the electricity, they will always be giving some solar to be used. So we are praying that through our honorable MP, she will assist us to also get some solar here so that the children can use to study day and night.
Even though the students here are trying their best to prepare going into the exams on Monday, they believe having access to electricity will give them upper hand in their preparations, especially with the learning of ICT. The DC for Techiman North tells me that plans are underway, but he's also urging the Ministry of Energy to fast track the process.
It is dependent on how soon the Energy Ministry will give us the materials. As we speak, they haven't given us any timeline. So I'll urge the sector minister and the chief director that report from the consultant emanating from Techiman North in respect of the SHEP project. With all due respect, they should hasten the process for us so that the good people of Drobweja can also have access to the national grid.
Until their request is answered, students will continue to learn in the dark and teachers will continue to teach ICT on the board. They are hopeful that their request will, as a matter of urgency, be answered so they can learn the proper way. Belinda Tete, TV3 News, Van Community, Drobweja, Techiman North District, Bono East Region.
Well, we know that the right authorities are watching, and we hope that they get the help they need. It might be too late for those who are writing from Monday, but for the next batch or for the next year's group, I hope that they get the help. This is electricity. It's a basic necessity.
Right.
We'll be speaking with the PTA very soon, but let's go to Binduri and do that interview later, because for many students in Binduri, motorbikes are the only way to school. But a security ban linked to the Boko crisis now threatens their access to the BC starting Monday. Some candidates are appealing to government and the Ministry of the Interior to temporarily relax the restrictions to enable them write their exams.
With many candidates living far from their centers, fears are growing that some may arrive late or miss their papers entirely, as they are now forced to trek long distances. Stranded candidates say the motorbike ban is already affecting their preparations and access to centers. They are appealing to government and the Ministry of the Interior to temporarily relax the restrictions to enable them write their exams.
The ban of the motorcycle has been an effect of students who will be willing to write the BC on next week Monday. We beg the government to lift the curfew of the motorcycle.
Where you are writing is far from us, so we need the government to lift the motor curfew for some few days. If they will not lift it class, on few days, if they lift it, and we will write our BC.
Parents are equally worried about the impact of the restriction on their children's ability to sit the exams. Meanwhile, the District Chief Executive for Binduri, Martin Ariku Akodugu, has appealed to parents to remain calm. He assured candidates of adequate security to access their centers safely and called for an end to the violence in the area for peace to prevail.
We are not happy. Nobody is happy. What happened? It's uncalled for, it's unwarranted. But we said the security should put their feet on the ground, apprehend these perpetrators, let them be punished. These our dear children has to go and write. Some doesn't even know where they are going to write. Some are even afraid. Even the transportation to take them there is a big challenge.
Raphael Kofi Gapsing is the General Secretary of the Council of the Parent Teachers Association of Ghana. He's joining us on Zoom for a conversation. Mr. Gapsing, thank you for your time tonight.
It's a pleasure speaking to you.
So,
good evening to you.
Good evening. I wrote BC some 21 years ago. Back then, we had our own challenges we dealt with. But looking at what we've seen now from the stories you have seen so far, what have you also found when it comes to the challenges students are dealing with, especially in this modern day?
Thank you very much. I think that let's start from where we just ended, the Binduri situation. I'm sure that it's not only peculiar to Binduri, it's also the entire Boko municipality. These are issues that are so severe due to conflict-related distress. The insecurity and fear that has affected the psyche of students when it comes to preparations towards exams is not only peculiar to Binduri, it also extends to the Boko township.
Right.
And also, I know those in Nkwanta and other conflict-prone areas across the country will have similar challenges, if not almost the same situations that they find themselves in. Personally, I was born and bred in Boko, even though I'm not a typical native of Boko, but I'm more than a native of Boko. So when I heard these issues, I tried to do some fact checks. And I realized that some of these situations we find ourselves in are self-inflicted by those who have made themselves conflict contractors in that whole enclave. Because students are preparing for exams. Just 2-3 days ago, look at what has happened on that corridor. Safety first, life first, before exams. So I'm taking this opportunity to speak to all those who have a hand in this conflict-prone situation in Boko. I wrote BEC in Boko, attended Boko Secondary School. I wrote my BEC in 1996 in Boko. And from Boko Township to Boko Secondary School is not less than 3 to 5 kilometers.
Right.
And we went there, even around that and the conflict was not so protracted as it is now. But even when those things are coming, those who matter most in the community are able to reason and say, look, let's halt and make sure that our children, the future of the community, are able to go and write these exams.
Right.
So the long-term solution is for all those who are involved in these things, whether they are Mamprushes, whether they are Kosases, whether they are whatever tribe. They should get to know that what they are doing, they are killing the future of that community and the society we find ourselves in. So we need to deal with it from that angle, not only Boko, Nkwanta, and other conflict-prone areas. We need to look at it holistically. The military, they've moved from peacekeeping to peace enforcement. And that is a higher arm of government trying to make sure that if you say you want they're going to become tough, we also make systems so tough for you that you cannot operate.
Right.
But we'll believe that as around this time that the children are going to prepare for these exams, the heavy security presence should be such a way that you should be able to mobilize and police these students to go and write these exams under safe and conducive environment, so that when they finish the exams, they can get back home in peace, not in pieces.
Yes.
So that's the first aspect that I want to talk about.
All right.
There's also issues
we unfortunately we're running out of time, but I think that you've summed everything up, especially with the call for a high security with the students, so that even as they go about writing the exam, they have that peace of mind and confidence also to be able to write. BC starts on Monday. We'll have the whole week to talk about all that there is when it comes to BC. Thank you for talking to us. Raphael Kofi Gapsing is General Secretary of the Council of PTA Association.
Now, away from education, the Bank of Ghana says it will no longer shoulder the full cost of the domestic gold purchase program. Speaking on key points, head of gold management at the Bank of Ghana, Paul Blebo, revealed that the Ministry of Finance will now partner with the central bank to share operational expenses.
The domestic gold purchase program was introduced in June 2021 to strengthen Ghana's foreign reserves and stabilize the cedi. Until now, the central bank had been solely responsible for covering the operational cost, which amounted to a net loss of 9.1 billion Ghana cedis in 2025. Head of gold management at the Bank of Ghana, Paul Blebo, explained that the new arrangement will ease the financial burden on the Bank of Ghana while ensuring the sustainability of the program.
Currently, our import cover, is around 5.8, right? But we want to, go beyond that to do about 15 within 3 years' time. Now, what it means is, Gold Ball will have to take up certain responsibility. Bank of Ghana will have to take up certain responsibility, and the Ministry of Finance will have to take certain responsibility. And this is a quasi-fiscal activity. So therefore, the cost to the program will have to be burden share. And there are ongoing discussions in order to, agree on, which proportion will Bank of Ghana bear and which proportion will the Ministry of Finance bear. So going forward, we don't expect, the Bank of Ghana to absorb all the costs.
Still on the key points, spokesperson for the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, Richmond Roxon, says government will install about 3,000 transformers nationwide to address distribution challenges linked to recent power outages. He explained that years of underinvestment in electricity distribution have worsened the crisis, but the new rollout is expected to stabilize supply across the country.
The reason why we are dealing with the distribution issue is that there are a number of areas that we've had transformer overloads. In 2023, ECG lost over 800 transformers. In 2024, they lost over 1,000 distribution transformers. They were not changed because you know what they were doing previously? ECG takes the money, and instead of bringing the money into the cash waterfall mechanism to distribute, they were spending the money anyhow. And the records are there. The records are there. So they get the money, and they were engaging in procurement of cables. That's what they were doing to cronies. And so the money that they needed to do the necessary investment, they were not doing the investment. Imagine procuring goods or materials and having over 2,600 containers stuck at the port when you need the materials. How will it work? As a government, we are doing over 3,000 transformers, distribution transformers across the country. In the northern side, we are doing 500. The southern side, that's the ECG operational areas, we are doing 2,500. Once we do those changes, we'll see significant improvement in our distribution side.
Still staying with energy, President John Mahama has pledged the development of a second gas processing plant to boost electricity generation capacity beyond 6,000 megawatts. He says the country's improving economic outlook has driven increased investment and rising demand for power, underscoring the need for more sustainable and reliable energy sources. The president made the statement during the citizens' engagement in Kofredia as part of his resetting tour of the Eastern region.
And so, I was saying, to the future.
We need to look into the future. We won't wait for something bad to happen before we act. If you look at how Ghana's economy is moving, it has resulted in increased consumption of electricity.
Number 3,500 megawatts. And then we know your consumption at peak, it drew 4,300 megawatts.
When we took office, consumption was about 3,500 megawatts. As I speak, consumption has peaked to about 4,300. This is because more investors are coming into the country.
Redundancy. Apart from that, say
we need to improve generation to have redundancy. Apart from that, when we have enough, we can export to Burkina Faso and Togo. They all need light. It would bring us foreign exchange into the country.
A second gas plant, Semunim Atuabo gas processing plant. Gas ebebano, a dose chain capacity of Atuabo gas processing plant.
The gas we would receive is more than the capacity of a Ituabo gas processing plant, so we need to construct GPP2 to get all the extra gas.
I was say yes, supply my electricity companies more normally electricity.
We need to supply the extra gas to the electricity companies, electricity generators who use gas. With the new gas coming in, we have signed a contract with ENI2.
Gas no better a chain. Yeah, existing plants. Until I say yes, yeah, another plant. A bit me just extra gas.
We would have more gas than existing plant, so we need an extra plant to contain the extra gas.
We will go almost over 6,000 megawatts. Until I know say for the next 10-15 years, say yanye plant beyond Kanhwa, still will have enough electricity for Ghana.
Well, President John Dramani Mahama is confident in the contractor working on the 32-kilometer Jakiti-Kujikope road to finish ahead of this 24-month schedule. The project started 5 months ago and is about 40% complete, with 98% drainage already done. And the stretch last saw construction under the Achampon regime, but government under the urban roads has awarded it under the Big Push agenda. Speaking at the site visitation at Jakiti, President Mahama says the construction company has shown seriousness and dedication to quality and speed.
Sakwen kwanya adahwache say my contract first 4 kilometers also antimi anye ye say enfidi awrehwa bi na yede begu so a say antimi anye also we dey contractor yi wo hu enfidi a ode egu kwan so a wonim say by all means kwan dey ye be ye tani anana kan no enye akwan kwa enyoma bebre wo ho a ehia mi wo gidi say MP amuwo ewo esojama ha MP amuwo Honorable Thomas onu ye mo MP kwa de namasa no Deputy Minister of Finance menimse ebedru say yebewie 2028 na mo ha onyina atoitwa na contractor yedi amamo no one of the best contractors uhuna abofra akodanya me obeka say onye hwe nso na adwuma so eni enti abwaje me sure say obeye adwuma ne kama
And in the coming days, the new 100 buses acquired by government to augment the fleet of Metro Mass Transit will hit the roads. This follows the completion of pre-technical audits and insurance cover, which management admit caused the delay in keeping the buses in motion. For the first time, passengers have been comprehensively insured under a new insurance cover. George Quenin has more.
Metro Mass Transit is done with all preparatory arrangements for the 100 Isuzu buses from Egypt. What is left now is the president officially receiving the buses and handing them over to Metro Mass Transit to commence full operations.
Within the last 8 years of the previous administration, buses supplied to the company were all under third-party arrangements. Now, under this package, by His Excellency the President, we are going fully 100% insurance cover. Aside that, President Mahama is also mindful of the well-being of our passengers who over the years have been loyal to us. So now President Mahama has admonished us to do what we called passenger insurance package. So under this compact, our passengers are also going to be insured on a different package altogether.
Deputy Managing Director Harun Amparedu also touched on some social media posts suggesting the new buses are unfit.
If you look at even the bus which was displayed, just take a critical look of it, compare it to the Isuzu buses. They are not Isuzu buses. The bus that was being pushed was not an Isuzu bus. So you just realize somebody out of mischief just took a picture somewhere, put a brand on it. How can you have a brand new car, tear rubber, being pushed? Even a home use car, do you push a home use car? So if the buses are buses that are faulty, when the buses hit our road, I believe Ghanaians will smile and will say, indeed, the president has given us a good deal of a transport system.
In a bid to address the transportation woes, particularly the long queues at bus stops, Metro Mass is going cashless so passengers can book at the comfort of their homes.
The full operations of the buses have actually taken some little time, but I can assure the goal of Ghana that His Excellency the President, being sensitive and mindful of the challenges confronting our innocent passengers and Ghanaians, obviously within the shortest possible time, I'm sure that once the letter has gone to the necessary offices or quarters or authorities, definitely they will respond to us, I'm sure, by the close of the day or tomorrow.
Some 1,200 new direct jobs are expected following the operationalization of the 100 buses.
Apart from the Isuzu buses that are received by the country from Egypt, Ghana is also expecting to receive some EV buses to augment the already existing fleet. And in anticipation of that, these EV chargers have been built, and this is actually located at the main terminal right here at Carnation. Other, terminals will also be having these chargers.
And away from transport, billboards covered in used clothes have appeared across Accra, sparking talk. And the display points to a bigger problem traders at Kantamanto face daily: piles of unsold bales. In this report, Samuel Adams finds out what really is driving the waste and whether recycling is the answer.
At Kantamanto, every bill comes with its own surprises. Traders open them with hope, yet sometimes not everything can be sold.
When we open the bill, some are nice, others are not. Honestly speaking, sometimes the bill is not good at all. There are times when people open the bill and because it's not good, they are unable to sell it. It all ends up in the market and become waste.
According to research, Ghana receives 50 million tons of garment each week from the global north, with about 40% becoming waste. The waste finds its way to dam sites, with some washed into water bodies and along beaches, further polluting the environment. Some of these excesses are being brought into public view. The artist behind the billboard says the installation reflects a growing reality.
Basically, just using textile to explore human identity, also using textile to critique social structures, and talking about the influence of textile on us, on our societies, and how that material can expose fractured systems in society, but also contribute to ongoing conversations about really building concrete systems for the next generation and the generations ahead. I am concerned as an artist about everything that's happening around me. I see it, but the only way I can talk about it is through the material, the medium that I work with. And that's why I thought about billboards.
For him, it is high time the issue is addressed.
We need the government to set up structures that can properly deal with the waste, you know. That's what's important, because we need our beaches to be clean. People need to go to clean beaches. People need to have access to clean water. The fishes need to be able to breathe and all that. There's a lot more to be done. We are thinking about more sustainable solutions, you know, like recycling solutions that can transform these clothes that we have in abundance, this waste that we have in abundance, into very, very usable products, you know, functional products that can be used everywhere. You know, we're talking about chairs, tables.
However, the Ghana Used Clothing Dealers Association believes the issue goes beyond the fashion crisis. The group secretary, Edward Atobra, says it is rather a gap in proper waste management.
Ghana, we have a waste management challenge that we need to come together to solve. So it's not about second-hand clothing, it's about waste management issue that we all need to tackle. We are not saying there is no waste in second-hand clothing. The issue is that even at the kitchen, there's waste at the kitchen. When you are cooking, you have some amount of waste. Ghana is a hub for second-hand clothing. Then neighboring countries come to Ghana to buy from. Some people from Burkina Faso, they come for this waste used for farming in Burkina Faso. Some used for industrial cleaning and upcycling and recycling. So even the less than 5% is also valuable to other industries and other communities. So we have a challenge with waste management problem, and that is why we need to discuss and solve it together.
He maintains that recycling can go a long way to address this excess.
You know, plastics is doing recycling. Textiles, they will also come in with recycling. I think the environmental problem will come down, because when you even buy a brand new clothes today and you decide to dispose of, where does it go? It goes to the landfills. You understand? So the recycling facility is necessary to curb the environmental problems.
Back at Kantamanto Market, traders say recycling and repurposing are possible ways to close the gap where excess fabric can be turned into usable materials.
Also, Nkofobia ba all foundation. Omo de ye pieces na ye twitwa no. Omo de bi ye emakaya ufo ni de bi ye bag.
There are some few organizations who come around for the excess. They give it to the head porters to use as bags, clothes, and other new stuff. For me, I believe it would be good if there were recycling avenues, and this would even create jobs. If we can get a place where all the condemned goods can be recycled, it will be good.
Oh,
if they can come for it to be used for different items, we will give it to them. It will help, and we can use it for doormats and other useful items. Although in 2023, second-hand clothing import from the EU contributed $7 million to Ghana's GDP, including $35 million directly, the growing surplus and waste have led to calls for sustainable solutions, particularly recycling, to manage what is left behind, as is done with plastics. Samuel Yabua Adams, V3 News, Accra.
And the Kentucky Taekwondo Sports Arena came alive today with this year's Yamvita Mummies Workout. The high-energy fitness event brought together hundreds of women for aerobics, dance and wellness activities, all aimed at encouraging mothers to prioritize their health. Management say beyond the fitness, the initiative also serves as a platform to recognize and celebrate the vital role women play in nurturing families and contributing to society.
Yamvita Mommy's Workout is an annual event geared towards promoting the culture of exercising, healthy living, as well as celebrating mothers for contributing positively to the family and society as a whole. The program forms part of the brand activity leading up to the celebration of Mother's Day. Speaking at the event, the category lead for infant cereal at Promasidor, Emilena Otego, explained that as an infant cereal brand, mothers are at the center of all their engagement. That is why they put together such a program for mothers to get the opportunity to exercise.
Such occasions, the idea as a brand, Yamvita, we care for mothers. As a caring brand, we want the mothers to learn a few of the tips that keep them healthy, whilst they network with other mothers as well. We have come very, very far. We've achieved numerous milestones for a 12-year-old brand. We've done so much, and I'm really grateful to those mothers. So I would say the trust that they have in the brand, they should keep buying Yamvita and tell other mothers the goodness of the brand.
Sheila Darko has been an ardent participant for years. She spoke about how the program has been beneficial to her over the years.
I mean, it's a workout that helps we the mommies. It's something that I find interesting and engaging to clear off our heads from stress and a whole lot. I thank God for Yamvita and whoever is behind, the brain behind this initiative.
Participants were treated to healthy fruit-based smoothies, breakfast snacks made out of Yamvita, vouchers from partners, hampers, product and souvenir packages from Yamvita with health screening and tips on healthy lifestyle.
This is News 360. We're back with more stories after this break. Don't go away.
Welcome back. This is News 360 on TV3. Let's do some other stories now. 14% of children under 5 in the Kwahu Afram Plains North and South districts are stunted. Behind this figure is a deepening nutrition crisis threatening the future of an entire generation. A report by Stanley Nibleu.
In the island district of Kwahu Afram Plains North and South, chronic malnutrition is silently shaping the lives of hundreds of children, limiting growth, weakening immunity, and dimming future potential. Health officials warn the situation is more widespread than it appears, as many households struggle to provide even the most basic balanced meals. Nationally, the picture is equally troubling. A 2019 UNICEF report on the state of the world's children, food and nutrition indicates that 1 in 5 children is stunted, while 1 in 10 is underweight. But here in the Afram Plains, the crisis hits closer to home. A World Vision Program evaluation spanning 5 years reveals that 14% of children under 5 are stunted, largely due to poor access to nutritious diets. What makes the situation more alarming is the contradiction. These are communities sustained by farming and fishing. Food is available, yet proper nutrition is not. Protein-rich fish is abundant, but not reaching the plate of many children. In basic schools, the reality is that meals are often inadequate, unbalanced, or at times unavailable. Child-focused non-governmental organizations like World Vision Ghana and the 2 district assemblies, through the Enough project, are ensuring that vulnerable children access nutritious meals. Under the initiative, selected schools are establishing gardens to grow fresh produce, feeding directly into the school feeding program.
Because this is supposed to be the food basket of Ghana. But unfortunately, as I indicated, 64.6% of people living in Afram Plains, this very area, are multidimensionally poor, including malnutrition and hunger, which simply means that probably parents are not having the right education to invest in, production that will inure to the high quality meals for our children. Past government, present government have invested in school feeding program. But I think that we can elevate this and make sure it is serving the purpose of ensuring children are feeding well and enrolling well in school and thriving in their communities.
District Health Director of Kwahu Afram Plains North speaks on the situation, urging pragmatic interventions to curb the trend.
Food sufficiency, we have it, but the challenge happens to do with the mix, and that is why we put in place interventions to educate the caregivers about how to put the right food in the right mix to ensure that the child or the individual achieve the maximum potential.
The crisis has now reached the voices of children themselves. At the Children's Parliament, pupils of Abo Tansu Primary are demanding attention, highlighting the daily realities of hunger and poor nutrition.
Honorable Erenam, Granting constituency. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the floor. I want to add my voice to the issue by suggesting a solution to the problem. Mr. Speaker, one way to solve hunger in our constituencies is to expand school feeding programs. The food given to school children in my constituency is not enough. Each child being served 1 ladle of food. Gachi the Kapeku. Mr. Speaker, this is not enough. Any other comments? Honorable Richard, about Tansu constituency. According to World Bank, malnutrition can reduce a country's GDP by up to 3% annually. Mr. Speaker, addressing hunger is therefore not only social priority but an economic need for national development. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The numbers tell part of the story, but the real cost is measured in weakened bodies, interrupted learning, and lost potential. Without sustained investment, stronger systems, and community-wide behavioral change, interventions risk falling short. For children in the Afram Plains, nutrition is not just a health issue, it is a matter of survival and future opportunity. And until access to proper nutrition becomes a certainty, the cycle of stunted growth will remain a silent emergency. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Eastern Region.
And Aniela Alote is happily standing by to bring us sports after this break because her Arsenal is doing well. Don't go away.
Joseph Paul Amwa and Edwin Gadayi. Gadayi made a late appearance replacing Ibrahim Fusseini and Isaac Botio.
Heat 3 of 3 in the men's 4 by 100 metres, and Azu has gone flying out on the outside for Great Britain as Ghana try and keep pace with them and Nigeria on their inside. South Africa in the dark green, but Great Britain right on the outside with Zarnell Hughes running the back straight, the British record holder. The baton moves on to Mitchell Blake for Great Britain. Ghana in pursuit inside them, but South Africa about to hand the baton to Simbini in the lead. Simbini, with the local support behind him, will roar away here for South Africa. The defending champions about to go through. And China and Great Britain very tight on the line for that second spot. That one will have to go down to a photograph, but no doubt about the winners. Again, Great Britain and Northern Ireland reaping the benefit there of front-loading with a strong quartet and getting that job done. Plenty of championships are soon too.
Moving on to the qualifiers for the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. The Black Princesses of Ghana are set to take on Uganda in the first leg of the final qualifying round at the Accra Sports Stadium tomorrow afternoon. 3 Sports' Akosia J has filed this report ahead of the game.
Competition from Tunisia and South Africa. The Black Princesses of Ghana are set for the final hurdle in the U20 Women's World Cup, which will be staged in Poland 2026. The final hurdle against Uganda that will be played on Sunday at the Accra Sports Stadium. Coach Charles Sampson, who is the manager of the side, is confident that this team will be able to go all out and be able to get the much needed victory in the first leg of the competition.
The preparation has been good. We had a lot of time in Pram. We started since the end of March, so we can't complain. It has been really good. We've been looking forward for this. Now the time has come, so it's just up to go out and deliver.
Though missing the services of defender Comfort Yeboah. He says in as much as it's worrying to the team, they've been able to get some new players to fill up in the gap that has been created.
It's always worrying. Comfort is an important player. We wanted to have her here. Unfortunately, we couldn't get her here because of her club. We tried, but it didn't work because it was not a FIFA window. So at the long run, we have to work without her.
And so for Coach Charles Sampson, it's just one thing they are looking out for: a win in this game before they travel all the way to Uganda for the return leg. From the Accra Sports Stadium, my name is Akosia Ej for 3 Sports.
Many thanks to Akosia for the report ahead of the game tomorrow afternoon at the Accra Sports Stadium. Proceeding now to game week 35 of the English Premier League. Arsenal opened up a 6-point lead at the top of the table earlier this evening with a comfortable 3-0 home victory against Fulham. The Gunners have goals from Victor Gyökeres.
Saka, really well found, as was the bottom corner.
3 goals and 3 points there for the Gunners. Well, that'll be all for sports here on News 360. I am Aniela Ale. Up next is entertainment news.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by GTP Lifestyle and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil. Powered by 3 Entertainment.
In Showbiz tonight, fast-rising Ghanaian artist Morgan Nero has been named the winner of the Unsung Artist of the Year category ahead of the 2026 TGMAs. Shortly after the announcement, the Agbozume Naomi hitmaker took to social media to share the exciting news with fans and supporters. In his post, Morgan Nero expressed heartfelt appreciation, writing, "We are pleased to announce that we have secured the Unsung Category Award at the Ghana Music Awards 2026. I extend my sincerest gratitude to everyone who contributed their time and support throughout this journey." Congratulations to him. We now bring you some interesting entertainment tidbits from around the world.
La la la, wait till I give my money right.
After facing cancellations across Europe, Kanye West is moving forward with a bold new plan in Tirana, a major concert featuring a custom-built temporary stadium. Set for July at Air Albania Stadium, the show will expand capacity from 22,500 to around 60,000 fans through a purpose-built structure. Following pushback elsewhere, Albania's decision to host the event stands out. Known for his avant-garde productions, Ye is expected to bring his signature half-globe stage design, turning the concert into a large-scale visual spectacle.
Like it's just you and me. I'm just saying how I feel, man. I ain't one of the Cosbys, I ain't go to Hill, man.
The Academy of Motion Pictures, Art and Sciences has ruled that only human performances and writing will qualify for Oscars, drawing a clear line on the use of AI in filmmaking. Under the updated rules, acting must be performed by humans and scripts must be fully written by people. The decision comes as the industry experiments more with AI, including digital recreations of actors like Val Kilmer.
Let's now bring you some international news.
Malian authorities are investigating soldiers suspected of involvement in last week's coordinated attacks on army bases across the country by militants linked to Al-Qaeda and separatist Tuareg rebels, a judicial official said. The list of potential accomplices includes 3 active duty soldiers, a retired soldier and a soldier who had been dismissed and was killed in fighting near the country's main army base in Kati, 15 kilometers outside the capital Bamako. The first arrests have been successfully carried out, and all other perpetrators, co-perpetrators and accomplices are actively being sought, said the statement. The simultaneous attacks beginning on the morning of 25th April showed how fighters from different groups with different goals were able to strike at the heart of the West African country's military government, which took power after coup in 2020 and 2021. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius has said the U.S. decision to withdraw 5,000 troops from his country was foreseeable, as the NATO military alliance says it is seeking clarification from Washington. Pistorius also stressed that the presence of American soldiers in Europe, and particularly in Germany, is in our interest and in the interest of the U.S. Meanwhile, NATO spokeswoman Alison Hart said the alliance was working with the U.S. to understand the details of their...
And thank you so much for spending the last 1 hour with us. There's always more news on our website, 3news.com. But that's how we draw the curtains on News 360. I am Noble Crosby.
And I'm Grace Hamajiman. Thank you for joining us. We have Just Us Tonight coming up, as well as PM Extra, all prepared for you. So stay with us.